Alright, hey guys, welcome to the Pro Play Games YouTube channel. Daniel Altavilla here. I am part of the sponsored Pokemon team. So I'm here in Mexico right now, and we just did the SPE and a League Cup, and we played, Ryan Allred and I played Purple Guys. So Malamar was one of the cards going into Forbidden Light's release that gained a lot of hype. Malamar is pretty strong. It kind of like changes the standard metagame because now we have a relevant like all psychic deck, which is able to deal with Buzzwole but may have trouble with Zoroark. So this list tries to answer both of those decks as much as possible. So this list was provided to us by fellow teammate Ahmed Ali. So just giving him full credit for the list we played yesterday, though the one we played today at the Cup is different. So jumping right into it, we have 4 Inkay. That's because obviously you don't want to prize Inkay. You want to be able to hit Inkay as consistent as possible. Also, real quick, just to point out, the Hypnosis attack is sort of like a bubble, but like a reverse bubble, where if your opponent flips tails, you could like stall for a turn, so never count that attack out. It's a good going second option. We have 3 Malamar. Oh, good old Mexico. We have 3 Malamar. So what Malamar does is you attach a Psychic Energy from your discard pile to one of your bench Pokemon. So this is very similar to Electric, close to the same card. The Electric from, I don't want to guess what set it's from.
Noble Victories.
Noble Victories, thank you. So basically, this is just the Psychic counterpart to Electric, and how it works is you just play a bunch of like different Pokemon, Psychic type Pokemon that can use these energies, and you just accelerate from there. So this is really like a deck where you set up your board, and then your board is going to provide you with all the options you need to finish out the game, no matter what your hand is. So we have 2 Necrozma GX. This is just like Ultra Necrozma, which is what was being hyped with Malamar going into this. The only difference is it requires a 3rd Psychic Energy to be able to get a knockout on most things. But also, you have Black Ray GX as an option, which is a very good option to have. Black Ray GX against Buzzwole, for example, sets it up. You can start getting KOs with Malamar's 60 attack plus weakness. Stuff like that. Also, Ultra Necrozma takes a Metal and 2 Psychics. Necrozma is more consistent because it just takes 3 to 4 Psychics, so you don't need to play the Metal energies. You can just have consistency with Elixirs and that. We have 2 Dawnwings Necrozma GX. This is good because of Invasion, which is like Keldeo EX. Jeez, can you pause it? Alright, hey guys, sorry about that. We had a little interruption, so I forget where I left off. But basically, Invasion is just like Keldeo EX and like Russian or like stand-in Zoroark, where you just switch out with your active Pokemon. The cool thing about that is that you can keep putting Necrozma onto the bench, put energies on it, and then Invasion it back active, so that has clear synergy with Malamar. It's pretty much in every Malamar deck. Dark Flash is a cool attack. It's not really the real reason we play the card, though. Moon's Eclipse GX would be the main reason, and what Moon's Eclipse GX does is when you're behind on prizes, you can use this attack. It's 180, so you're going to knock out most things that you would like to knock out, and then you cannot be damaged or affected by attacks for a turn. So the cool thing about that is that you go like set up your board, let them take a prize. Moon's Eclipse, take 2 prizes. They cannot knock out a GX, ideally, if you don't have another GX on your bench. Or at the very least, they can't knock out your attacker. And then you get another 2 prizes, ideally, and then that puts you ahead in the prize trade compared to where you were beforehand. We have 1 Mimikyu. The card's really good. It's good in Ultra Necrozma. It's kind of good in Mirror. It's just like one of those cards where it's not a bad card to include. It's always good, especially since this deck can set up a Mimikyu out of nowhere. It's a very strong option to have. Also, the Filch attack is just as good as the Copycat attack. I used Filch multiple times over the last 2 days, and it actually like was really good against Garb, where like I needed a blower, didn't have it. I end them low and then Filch to fill up my hand. So like it's pretty interesting. We have Mew. Copies anything in the deck but only gives up 1 prize, and then Encounter is also a really good attack. We We have Marshadow GX. This is a card that was being played in multiple lists before this event. Marshadow is your answer to Zoroark decks, where you go like Marshadow to copy Moon's Eclipse, and then you kill Zoroark. You Guzma Zoroark and use Dark Flash, and then from there you only need 2 more prizes, which you could easily stretch your back the Marshadow for. Then we have 2 Tapu Lele GX, which is just consistency, and I'll show you why we don't need a third in a minute. So moving on to the trainers, we have 4 Professor Sycamore for consistency, 4 Cynthia for consistency, nothing crazy there. 2 N, because N's not as great a card in this format, but it's still N. 4 Guzma for consistency, and then 1 Bridget, because the cool thing about the Bridget is that sometimes your hand is just so busted that you only need to Bridget turn 1, and then turn 2 you pop off, and then when you don't need the Bridget, you just don't use the Bridget, so it's pretty good. Also, it's just really good late game where you don't have a supporter, but you might have a Bridget and you need to grab a specific Pokemon, so you just like say, I'll just Bridget, grab that Pokemon and an Inkay, or something like that. We have 4 Ultra Ball. Consistency. We have 4 Mysterious Treasure. This is a new card from Forbidden Light. This says discard a card from your hand. If you do, search your deck for a Psychic or Dragon Pokemon, reveal it, put into your hand. So Mysterious Treasure is an Ultra Ball for 1, which is really good because in your opening hand you can have Mysterious Treasure and Ultra Ball and grab 2 Pokemon. So that's really nifty. Mysterious Treasure is clearly meant to be in like a Malamar Ultra Necrozma deck or in Garb or Psychic decks like that. So also a point Ryan made is that you can play 8 of these ball cards, so why would you not just play 8 of these ball cards? And to be fair, throughout the weekend, I also would agree that after playing this deck for a while, you don't even see the ball cards that often when you have 8, so you want to make sure that you have them. Another point to bring up is that you need Psychic Energies in the discard. It's not always a guarantee that you discard these Psychic Energies, so having 8 outs to discarding besides a Sycamore is really good. We have 4 Floatstone. That is so that we never get trapped in the active. It also makes it easier to move your guys around, which is necessary for Malamar. We have 3 Blowers. The 3 Blower was just because we're scared of Parallel City, we're scared of Garb. We didn't know what to expect going into the event, so we wanted to be safe with 3 Blower. In the future, I would probably recommend 2. I don't think 3 is necessary anymore. We have 2 Rescue Scarf. That was just because we kind of have a toolbox thing going on here, so we want to make sure that we keep grabbing the pieces we need out of our toolbox. And then we have a Professor's Letter. This is because turn 1, if you hit Letter, you could search your deck for 2 energies, discard them. It's kind of cute. And then for energies, we had 11 Psychics, and this is just for consistency. You want to make sure to have Psychics. It's nice to be able to attach an energy every turn and to be able to use Malamar. This gives you the option to set up multiple attackers at once. But yeah, so that's the list. Thanks to Ahmed. Full credit to him for this list. It was pretty good. I top 8'd with it myself, and then Ryan just had a bad day. But what are you going to do? There's good and bad sides of the variants. So this is a good deck moving forward. I think this concept is better than the Ultra Necrozma concept simply because of Mimikyu, which beats Ultra Necrozma. And I think you just have more options for everything and you're more consistent. So moving forward, I would definitely try to stick with this concept. But yeah, guys, so thanks for watching. And thanks to Purple Games and Ultra Pro for help with the Mexico trip. They really helped pull some strings to put this together. Always glad to have them. And yeah, thanks. See you next time.